Welcome back, trackside. Once again, race fans, here to the Turn 3 Racing Network tonight. The National Association of Stock Car Virtual Racing's Masters of the Draft fires things off for their final 4-week mini-season championship. We're going to crown a king in 4 short weeks and an overall season champion as well. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a safe Happy New Year. Glad you could join us here tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway for tonight's quick trip. 280 laps around this 2.5 mile massive super speedway. Speeds upwards of 200 miles an hour. Who will be the first to victory lane in these Gen 4 machines? We're going to find out here in just a matter of moments. Qualifying already behind us, so what do you say we run down the results from qualifying moments ago, brought to you by the U.S. Veterans Bowl Award. Al Lycan sits top of the speed charts. Quick time 48:21. Landon Lacey, Scott Wise, Sean Boundy, always quick. Tay McDonald up inside of the top 5. Look for Tay to be one of those quick drivers behind the wheel of that 73 machine. Jacob Drift, the Drift King, still in control of his overall championship destiny as we are well into this season. Final 4 weeks. Who's going to get it done? Who's going to get the last remaining checkered flags? We're going to find out here in just a handful of moments. But before we do, how you doing? How you feeling? Out there in TV Land, race fans, glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, Dave in the Cave, bringing you all the calls from trackside. Speaking of trackside, handful of drivers down there shaking down the machines as the music fades away. Time ticks off the stopwatch, just about 4 minutes before we head to the starting grid. Trying to take a look, see who's out there. Joe Wells out there on the track. Wells, one of those fast drivers in the Xfinity Series, winning 2 races out of the 4 of our previous mini-season. Wells, one of those top contenders. Look for him to be quick in these Gen 4 machines as well. Wells leads Jacob Drift by 40 points coming into tonight's race, so a little bit of a buffer for Wells to work with. We'll see if he maintains that points lead over the course of these final few weeks. Looks like we've got Wells out there on the track, only driver to shake down his machine here in these last remaining moments of happy hour. Track a pretty quiet place here. Things gonna heat up. Things gonna get loud. Drivers gonna nail the loud pedal. We'll get this thing fired up here in just a handful of moments. We're gonna break for a brief commercial break. Pay a few of the sponsor bills. Keep the lights on here in the production booth. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be back with your national anthem starting lineup in green flag action right here from Daytona International Super Speedway.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Oh, say so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we once were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And we bring you back trackside as the flyover is finished. Drivers making their way through pre-race inspection, just a handful of moments away from firing things off for the first time here tonight at the Quick Trip 200 live from Daytona International Super Speedway. You're watching the National Association of Stock Car Virtual Racing's Masters of the Draft. Short field after the holidays, only 16 drivers scheduled to make the start here tonight. Let's head a little closer to the track. Let's bring it around the corner, guys. There you go. Back behind the pace car, you can see everybody beginning to line up. Landon Lacey, unfortunately, not making his way through pre-race inspection. He'll start from pit lane. So as our good buddy Joshua Norwood leads the field on to the track, you can hear the familiar music in the background. You know it's time to run down tonight's starting lineup at the Quick Trip 200. Starting inside row number one, snatching the U.S. Veterans Pole Award behind the wheel of that 94 Coca-Cola machine. Al Likens brings us to the green flag. Landon Lacey starting just to his outside with Scott Wise and Sean Bundy. Back at row number two. Row number three here tonight from Daytona, Tay McDonald and Daryl Johnson. Andrew Moore, Sam Taylor back in row number four with the Drift King, Jacob Drift, and Dylan Picklesheimer. Rounding out your top 10, Gregory Thurlow, Dakota Bailey, making up row number six. And in row number seven tonight, Zach Lanen and Darren Mack. James Hudson, Joe Wells will round out the 16-car field here tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway. These Gen 4 machines going to be a little different for these drivers in the drafting package. You'll notice the bumpers don't quite line up. Not going to see the typical bump draft. You'll see that old school style of racing revitalized here tonight from Daytona. 80 laps, 200 miles, 320 plus left-hand turns. We'll see turns into victory lane. First here tonight, as we work our way off of 4, music fades. Norwood gonna get out our way, and we're gonna unleash the beast for the first time into the restart zone. We roll and away we go. Green flag flies for the first time here from Daytona. No surprise, stacked up side by side, front of the field, Scott Wise, bottom of the racetrack, and that Yingling number 31 machine. A little bit of a different look for Wise here, bailing from the bottom, heading up to the top of the racetrack. That's going to be, I believe that's going to be Tay McDonald. Yes, it is Tay McDonald in a very familiar Kevin Harvick throwback paint scheme. Nice looking shell ride right there. 34 DuPont Pepsi machine out front. Sean Bundy looking to lead a lap, not going to get it done. Big wiggle off the corner early here, lap number 1. Trouble already arising for some of these guys. A little bit less downforce on these cars. Back through 2, you can see a lot of movement from these machines. As we've said, as we already mentioned here very early, lap number 2 on the board, halfway down the backstretch. Not a lot of downforce on these Gen 4 models of the NASCAR rides. This would be the car typical to that late 80s or maybe mid 90s machines. The cars that pretty much made NASCAR's name with Jeff Gordon as well as Dale Earnhardt Sr. These are the machines that they were driving, so a lot of these guys a little more accustomed to some of those new age bells and whistles that are behind the wheels with them now. See which one of them can adjust their driving style. Big run on the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes that 94 of Likens. Not gonna get there, and it's amazing to see that outside lane. Less numbers, but more momentum right now. The energy definitely picking up on that high side. There it is back at the bottom. That accordion effect once again. Driver's going to jump back down to the bottom, try to surge that inside lane forward, but not going to happen across the stripe. Sean Bundy, your race leader. Likens going to fall back to second, battling down side by side with the 93 just to his outside. 4 laps on the board. Let's drop the timing and scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you follow along and find your favorite driver in the field here tonight. And who's going to be driving the field out front? Are we going to see a lot of moves? Are we going to see some big blocks? Or will drivers kind of feel these machines out for a good portion of tonight's race? Only one way to find out, and that's to stay right here glued to your screens. Grab your popcorn, get a drink, call a friend. Have a little party if you want to on us. Drivers playing it safe with the bump drafting right now, looking to leave just about a quarter length of a car in between their front and rear bumpers. All over each other, though. These guys are reaching speeds of 204 miles an hour going into turn 1, going into turn number 3 again. Down the backstretch, inside lane surges back forward. Likens back to the point. Big run for the inside lane. Top 2, almost 3 drivers get a clear. They'll stay glued to the bottom. Yellow line, your best friend when it comes to super speedway racing. Nobody can pass you on the left. Gonna force them around the long way. Force them to get a huge run here. 3-car breakaway at the top as the 8 falls back in line. He's gonna lose a little bit of ground here. Bundy on a move. Johnson on the move to 77 of Andrew Moore, picking up 2 positions as well from outside of the top 5. Now to sitting in that 5th position, and expect to see a lot of comers and goers. You're going to have guys drive to the front. You're going to have guys bail on situations, not happy with what they may see in front of them or what's going on with the cars that they're around. We may see a few of them drop to the back. Of the pack, you're going to already see. Oh, wait, no, playing a little games on us here. Trying to trick us in the booth. You got 2 very similar liveries out there on track. See 3rd car outside the lane, the 73 of Tay McDonald, another shell machine in the back. I believe that's going to be the 59 of Darren Mack. Yes, it is. Mack going to just hang out the back for the time being. Joe Wells going nowhere fast. Wells behind the wheel of that 3 machine. Just kind of hanging out. Coming at you down the back stretch, side by side. Speeds 197 as they cross by the camera. Down into turn 3, we roll. Three wide, front of the field. Let's get back to the action. 34, gonna lose a lap. That's actually gonna be a Landon Lacey. Started from pit road, no drafting help. Scott Wise gonna take over the top spot on the inside of the racetrack. Now Likens moves to the top of the speedway, gonna collect the 93 right behind him. Tell you what, let's take a look back. You want to know what it's like to ride at 190 plus miles an hour, packed up with an entire field here at Daytona International Super Speedway. Taking a look over the rear deck lid of Al Likens, looking back at Andrew Moore behind the wheel of that vet to track number 77. For some reason, Andrew, we thought you'd changed your number. I don't know why we would have thought that. You've been 77 all season long, but we'll just moving along. Taking a look a little further back in the pack, Dakota Bailey struggling with some grip on the bottom of the racetrack. You can see tucked in line behind him, Gregory Thurlow. Sean Bundy was running out front. That DuPont Pepsi machine on the outside lane trying to surge back forward. Gregory Thurlow back here along with Sam Taylor will jump around the field once again as Wise shows the way once again here at Daytona. Newcomer James Hudson behind the wheel of the 97 machine showing well here tonight. Up 3 positions from where he qualified. Still looking to break into that top 10. And oh, big moment there. That Monster Energy number 38 machine, Gregory Thurlow. A little bit of problems bottoming out on the bottom of the racetrack. A little bit bumpy here at the old school Daytona layout. And almost up into the side of that 34, we almost seen our first big one. Back through 3 and 4, Wise still holds the top spot on that inside lane. Fighting back to his outside is Al Likens, your U.S. Veterans Pole Award winner. He's led a handful of laps here, and it looks like across the line, he's going to just squeak that lap lead away from Wise once again. So Scott only officially being scored as leading 2 laps so far here tonight. And no real dominant lane there hasn't been anybody really that has stuck out just yet. I mean, a lot of guys moving around the racetrack, up 4 positions from where he qualified now, inside of the top 10. Dakota Bailey, biggest move of the race. You can see him down inside lane. Yet another Pepsi Blue right in the field with us here tonight. 4th car inside lane. Bailey up 4 positions into that 8th spot. Controlling the race from the top of the speedway, looking like a Sunday quarterback out there, Patrick Mahomes. As a matter of fact, I believe that's about the best comparison we can give to Al Likens. He's just able to really dictate and control the pace of the race at the front of the field, control the momentum of the line, side drafting when he needs to, little bit of a sneak to the outside. And he's going to grab that top spot once again as we cross the line, put another lap lead in the back pocket of Mahomey out there at the front. Al Likens getting the job done early here at Daytona. Still unable to break. Whoa, big trouble now down the backstretch. Bump draft gone wrong. Dakota Bailey almost LeBron James that thing. Almost slammed it. 15 laps into this green flag run. Clean and green so far every single lap here tonight. Wonder if the tire wear is starting to be a factor. Old school Daytona, the track a little bit more abrasive, a little bit more rough on those right rears. So wonder if maybe some of the grip levels are starting to dissipate. As there you can see that iconic Lowe's Cobalt Tools number 54 into the bottom of the racetrack. Gonna give the racing line to the lead lap cars. Down 1 lap. Only driver 1 lap down. 54 of Landon Lacey. Oh, and we got trouble. Trouble off of 4 trouble. Coming to the line and caution flag will fly. Jacob Drift gonna be involved in this one. Lacey gonna catch a piece of the action. 4-5 drivers caught up and involved in this one. Let's go back. Let's check the replay. It looks like just jacked up off of the corner. The 77 gonna catch the brunt of the damage. We got another look at that, guys. Can we get another vantage point? Yeah, we got it all right. Here we go. Taking a look down the front stretch at it. There's more with the contact. 8's going to catch a piece of this. 4, 5, 6 drivers involved. Caution flag flies for the first time as we go back live out front. Scott Wise going to wait to pick up the pace car. Norwood taking his sweet old time, getting out to your race leader. 17 laps in. Caution number 1. Pit road will be open this time by. As everybody heads to pit road, we're going to take the opportunity to step away from the track for just a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be back with all your green flag action live from Daytona. back live trackside as promised, not missing any other green flag action here tonight. Caution number 1 gonna fly on lap number 16, ready to unleash the beast once again. We're gonna go high above with the turn 3 drone cam for this latest restart. Big shout out to our buddy Gibby Richards out there, man of the drone for us here tonight. Ready to cross the line, the boss man of the flag stand has that green flag ready to go. And once again, we fire things off here from Daytona on the gas, and green flag flies. A lot of great camera angles all over this racetrack as drivers head back to turn number 1. Jockeying for positions early, single file run here. Interesting to see these guys already single file after mixing it up for the majority of our first portion of tonight's race. And there it is, back side by side, 3 wide for a moment, big wiggle there. From that 34, gonna have to be careful. The Pepsi duo working with each other. All the high side, 3 wide, contact from in the middle of the 93, beating and banging. Meat the sandwich, this ain't Jimmy John's. You're not gonna get it freaky fast that way. No help, Bailey goes to the back. So just as it looked like there was a little bit of cordialness going on out there on the track quickly, that changes. Lap number 21 to get along the board just over a quarter of the way through tonight's race. And we're already seeing a handful of very strong, dominant cars. The U.S. Veterans Pole Award winner behind the wheel of that Coca-Cola machine. It's a battle of the sodas out there. The soft drinks going to war here at Daytona. Likens has been quick, has remained at the front of the field for the majority of tonight's race. Dylan Picklesheimer, he's going to put that body armor number 12 to the top of the speedway. Look for a run 3 wide, but with no help. It's going to be a short-lived process. He's going to fall back behind the 24 of Bailey, who's looking to get to the bottom. That's going to be, I believe that's going to be Sean Bundy. Yes, it is Sean Bundy behind the wheel on that 34. Dakota. Sean, we got to work together, guys. We got to get ourselves like a Pepsi Clear out there or something, because you guys are, you're confusing my eyeballs, man. Pass for the race lead. 73 going to take the top spot away from Al Likens. Plante McDonald at the front of the field, but here comes the Yingling machine at the bottom. It is not last call. He's heading back to the front. So with our first caution of the night behind us already early here tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway, all 16 drivers back on the lead lap. All 16 drivers right here in this field. Andrew Moore suffering just a little bit, actually more. Going to lose this lead pack, and he's losing quite a bit of time. Heavy sustained damage for that 77. Looks like he's in damage control for the time being. Not wanting to use that quick fix just yet to get back on pace and back up to speed. Still a very long way to go here tonight at the Quick Trip 200 for the NASCVR's Masters of the Draft. It's the Gen 4 Cup Series. 4 weeks of racing behind the wheel of these Gen 4 machines till we crown a season champion. We've had already 4 mini seasons, 4 4-week mini seasons behind us, and we have had 4 different series champions. Dominating, very hard to do. Getting to victory lane, very hard to do. We've seen a handful of drivers lead laps but not finish the race. We've seen guys get to victory lane early in the season and have yet to get back there. Dakota Bailey, very dominant in our second mini season, has had a little bit of a struggle as of late. Could this Gen 4 car be the turnaround in his season? Get him back in that championship hunt? We got a few weeks to find out, and a few weeks to figure it out. We'll see how it all goes here. Field getting a little bit spread out as the handling seems to be. The handling's a little bit more affected with the dirty here than what we're used to seeing here. Whoa, big! Oh boy, I thought that was going to be the big one. I thought we were going to have the granddaddy of them all. I thought we were going to see the front of the field wadded up here. Take out everybody, turn the backstretch into a parking lot. They're going to avoid the chaos for the moment. Tag teaming on the bottom of the racetrack. You can see those Pepsi machines pushing the beer mobile. I don't know, I kind of like that better, Scott. We're gonna have, can you put a beer mobile logo on that thing? It just sounds good. It rolls off the tongue well. Matter of fact, Austin Dillon sporting a Yingling paint scheme a handful of years ago. I believe it was at Pocono, is where he ran that paint scheme back on the car here. A little bit more of a hunter green look there for Wise, as Austin Dillon's version was just straight black and yellow. Still side by side from the field, Tate McDonald leading from the top side of the racetrack. 73, first time he's led a handful of laps here tonight. First time he's led a handful of laps in the season. Wise way up the racetrack, drifting way up to the top of the racetrack at a crowd that's 73, all but into the outside wall. Talk about pushing the sidelines there. You know, in the good spirit of things down here in the beautiful sunshine, oh my God, I cannot speak. Let's go ahead. Let's hit the rewind button on that. Okay, stop, and let's redo that. Down here in the Sunshine State. There you go. I promise I can say it. When the tongue cooperates with the brain, it all works out well for everybody. In the good spirit of being down here in beautiful sunny Florida, these machines, about the only thing faster the Cheetah, Tyreek Hill, in the state of Florida. We'll see which one of these guys chop the competition up the way Hill's able to do so on the football fields on Sunday, but we are not playing football here tonight. We are racing, green flag racing, just about 14 laps after our first caution here tonight. Looks like we've got a 3-1 opportunity. Oh, trouble at the front. Wise into the outside wall. He's going to do it for Dale right into turn 1. Big trouble, big hit, and we stay green flag racing. Big trouble now for Scott Wise as he is heavily damaged. And there it is. Caution flag will fly. Debris being scattered down the backstretch. You seen it unfold. You seen it happen right before your eyes. Let's go back. Let's check the replay. Wise right there. You can see him a little bit after the fact. Caution flag will fly. So I'm not sure, guys. Do we got that one? Don't look at me. I'm asking you. Do you got it or no? No? Okay. All right. Well, looks like the production crew saying they missed that one. Seen it. Caught it live when it all went down. Just, again, up the racetrack a little bit, coming out of the corner. And that's all it takes. We're going to go back under caution, just a handful of laps away. Oh, my goodness. And we've got some heated tempers out there. The 8's going to catch the tail end, I believe. And that's going to be Gregory Thurlow. Yes, it is Thurlow. behind the wheel of that Monster Energy 8 machine. Man. Second caution of the night, gonna fly just a handful of laps away from the halfway point here. So who's gonna hit pit road? I would expect to see the majority of the field come down for fresh tires, full tank of fuel, and get ready to fire things off once again. Eyeballing the downhill side of things, we'll see how it goes. But first, we're going to break for a brief commercial break. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be back live here from Daytona for the Quick Trip 200. And welcome back, Trackside Race fans. If you're still with us, if you're just now joining us, you're watching the Quick Trip 200, brought to you by the National Association of Stock Car Virtual Racing's Masters of the Draft. Your U.S. Veterans Poll Award winner, Dow Likens, has been inside of the top 5 all race long. You can see him second car outside lane for this latest restart. Look for him to be quick, but we got the dynamic Pepsi duo at the front of this field. Dakota Bailey gonna play a little bit of pit road strategy. 2 tires and fuel. Gonna get him off of pit road before his fellow competitors. Will he be able to keep it at the front? We've seen him make up a handful of positions, and he's now going to call the plays from the front of the field. Mahomey out there up 11 positions. If that's not putting in work, then I really don't know what you expect. I mean, 11 positions gained out of a 16-car field. Phenomenal run to the front. And, well, we're going to see if he can keep it going. We're going to see if he can keep it heading in the right direction. Darren Mack also knocking on the door of being up double digits here tonight. You can see that Back to the Future's DeLorean Silver Machine. 59, 7th place outside lane. Look for him to fire all and get towards the front. Here we go. Joshua Norwood going to take the pace car back down pit road, and we're going to rely on our good buddy Gibby Richardson once again for some overhead camera shots here as we unleash the beast back into the restart zone. We roll on the gas, and green flag flies once again. Gibby, what you doing? There you go, bud. That's where we need to be. And you know, sometimes it takes us getting a hold of our PR person over there, Crystal Valentine, to get onto Gibby. And you know, to set him right, sometimes he needs a little on the back of the head. You know what I mean. But anyways, back side by side racing here, 24-34, gonna go at it. It's the battle of the sodas at the front. The soft drinks going at it. Pepsi versus Coke. Al Likens right there in the 94. Opportunity to drop to the bottom. He's gonna take it into 3. Just when we were going to say, will he take the opportunity to drop to the bottom before we had that chance, he's going to put it right at the bottom of the speedway, take that top spot away once again, and now lead the field. Picklesheimer back to a 3-wide situation. One of the few drivers that has been willing to push the issue. And with some technical difficulties plaguing us, we're going to step away for just a brief second. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back live from Daytona International Super Speedway. Backtrack side after the brief commercial break. Caution flag will fly once again. A lot of drivers involved in a big one. While we stepped away from the track, Landon Lacey, Darren Mack, Scott Wise, Tay McDonald, Sam Taylor, Gregory Thurlow, and Zach Lanen all caught up and involved in this latest incident, slowing us down right at the halfway point. Al Lycan still out front. Jacob Drift now behind him, sneaking his way to the front of the field. We told you, methodical, calm, cool. We see him do it week in and week out. The man behind the wheel of this machine right here, the G Lightning Motorsports G-Ball number 3, Dale Sr. A tribute machine, Joe Wells has arrived at the front. Up 13 positions from where he qualified. 2 more to go. We'll see if he can get that GTR. And I'm not quite so sure that's a GTR, but you know, hey, if that's the front clip you want to put on that thing, you know, we'll let it slide. See those seafoam green gloves inside of that number 3 machine. Very easy to pick up. The hands put in work on the wheel inside of his office. 97 of James Hudson inside of the top 5 for the first time here tonight. You can see Dakota Bailey getting up there, giving Wells a little bit of an earful for a moment. And we're going to drop the green flag right at the halfway point. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and give you your mid-race report, your driver rundown right at the halfway point here tonight in the Quick Trip 200 from Daytona International Super Speedway. 16 drivers to the starting grid. We have still got 16 out on the track. All 16 still on the lead lap. It's anybody's game. With a long way to go, still over 100 miles of racing action remain in front of these machines. And honestly, I mean, really, I know you don't want my opinion because at the end of the day, my opinion really doesn't mean much. You know what I mean? But anyways, there's really only been one driver to really stand out for us. That has been class of the field. And that is your U.S. Veterans Pole Award winner, the 94, Alan Likens, back at the front. Once again, he'll be the controlled car, bring the field back to the green flag. Boss man at the flag stand, ready to let these drivers rip it. As Norwood back to pit road once again. We'll set our sights on green flag racing here from Daytona. And just like that, we're back. Green flag action right here from Daytona International Super Speedway. Likens with a good jump. You can see the inside lane not really getting going. Dakota Bailey stumbling through the gears. Outside lane's going to fade back a little bit here with losing some of that momentum numbers at the bottom. The organization at the bottom for the moment. But as that outside lane catches back up, you can see that momentum build, the surge once again. Now as Jacob Drift looking to get that Drift King 14 at the front of the field, eyeballing the front as well. And we got one around. Big trouble now. Bailey up the track and into the outside wall. Caution flag will fly. Dakota Bailey with issues. Let's go check the little rescue. Towing replay. Oh, he's going to take and kiss that outside wall. Tough break for the Star Wars sponsored Pepsi machine. Bailey with problems. That's going to put us under caution for the 4th time here tonight. So things going to slow down once again back behind the pace car as Al Likens will lead the field. Off of turn number 4, catch up to the pace car. Just past the halfway point. So who you got? Right, who's your favorite in the field? We're eyeballing a sleeper. We called it earlier here tonight. We talked about him in the overall championship points coming into tonight's race. Joe Wells sitting, I believe it is 40 points. We'll take another look at it. Yes, indeed, 40 points out front of his nearest competitor in the overall championship standings. And lately, that's just been kind of the go-to for Wells, right? Just kind of hang out at the back for a little while, slowly, methodically work his way up through the field, trying to take that Mahomes moniker to heart. It really dictate the outcome of the race. Wells, the only driver up double digits when it comes to the positions made so far here tonight. Will he head back down pit road? That's going to be the question. These guys were just down pit road a handful of laps ago, and we're going to have our answer right there. Front of the field to pit lane. And that's going to drag everybody back down pit road, as we've seen our first retirement of the night, the 54 of Landon Lacey. Going to go back behind pit wall. Unfortunate circumstances keeps the 54 from finishing in the official race distance. He's going to go to the hauler a little bit sooner and be able to go just down the road. The Tootsies have himself a cocktail or two. If you're from the area, if you know, you got to head to Tootsies. An amazing place, an amazing bar and grill. Absolutely phenomenal. So we're going to go back green flag racing with less than 35 laps remaining here tonight. The Quick Trip 200 for the NASCVR's Masters of the Draft. Race number 1 here in the 4-week mini block season behind the wheel of these Gen 4 machines. We've got Talladega coming up. Atlanta, I do believe, is on this 4-week schedule. So a lot of racing still to be had. If you haven't already, show these drivers some love and appreciation and let them know you enjoy all of the racing content, not just here tonight, but each and every Thursday night right here on your home for eSpeed Turn 3 Racing Network. So go ahead, join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Show the drivers the love, drop the thumbs up, click subscribe, smash that bell over there with the right-hand side to get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Dave of the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by, whether you're sliding in to say hey, or you are one of our dedicated fans, friends, family, one of our many different sponsors across the many different leagues and series. We've got racing action for you 7 days a week. If you like the dirt track stuff, we've got dirt racing action. We've got super speedway action, Xfinity cars, truck series. We've got it all for you. Come hang out with us any night of the week right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We're glad to have you. Without you, there would be no us. So once again, show these drivers some love while you're here. Smash that thumbs up button. On a side note, since we're at Daytona, how many people out there have known the Daytona 500 to be called by Mike Joy? If you know racing, if you know NASCAR racing, you know the voice of Mike Joy, one of the best to ever do it in the business. And this is going to be, I believe, something like his 30th year announcing the Daytona 500. How special is that? I mean, from a broadcaster's standpoint, being able to have that sort of longevity, that far reach in your realm is somewhat unprecedented. You see faces come and go, but the one staple over the past decade or two has been Mike Joy on Sundays, calling the races from the booth. Absolutely an amazing gentleman, an amazing announcer and broadcaster, and hats off to you, Mike, for your next and the latest Daytona 500 coming up in just about a month's time. So keep your eyes locked on your TVs for that as well. Pace car, and we're ready to go back. Green flag racing. Once again here from Daytona International Super Speedway on the gas, and green flag flies. Close racing there as that Monster Energy Camaro peeks out to the side just a little bit. Picklesheimer eyeballing the middle of the racetrack. Will he go for a 3-wide move? Once again, we've been accustomed to him tonight, jumping to that high side, making it 3-wide early on these restarts, but he's going to tuck in line right here for the moment. Nope, there's the move to the middle through the triangle. He'll think better of it, fall back to fourth car inside lane as Al Likens continues to lead the race from the front of the field. Likens here, U.S. Veterans Pole Award winner. He's also got the most laps led so far here tonight, so one hell of a race underway for that 94, and it looks like Bailey dropping back. Dakota Bailey not liking what's going on at the front of the field. He's going to fall back into the line. That's going to leave the 34 to go side by side, looking for the race lead. Sean Bundy has been here all night long. Another staple inside of the top 5. And how about that old school throwback red Bud King of beers? A wrap on that 97, absolutely. Looks phenomenal. Brings back a lot of memories from Junior running that paint scheme right here at Daytona. It really do bail some justice. We're going to find out here in just the course of about 30 laps or so. Timing and scoring looks like we've got a 12-pack of cars in Helvetic. We've got a 12-pack of Coke and Pepsi battling it out with the king of beers. We've got energy drinks right behind them. This has turned into a beverage race, right? Which one do you got? What's your favorite? We're gonna start some trouble in the chat. Come on, I know we've got some people out there, so quit being shy. Okay, you could talk. We don't hear your voice. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do about hearing my voice, and yeah, unless you mute me. So, you just gotta deal with it. But what you got? Is it Pepsi or is it Coke? We're gonna keep it simple. We're not gonna go Coke Zero and Cherry Coke and Wild Cherry Pepsi. We're just gonna keep it simple. Do you go for the Coke or do you go for the Pepsi? And when I say Coke, I'm talking about those soft drinks, not the other type of stuff you can find down here around the areas of Florida. But the whole other story with that one, we're going to keep it right here with the racing action. So who you got when it comes to soft drinks? Are you reaching for those Coca-Cola products? Or are you reaching for the Pepsi aisle? No one chiming in just yet, so we'll keep our eye over there in the chat, see if anybody's brave enough to give us their... Oh, and we got Thomas Lance. There you go, Thomas, tuning in, turning up with us here tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway. Thomas has got Pepsi, so we got a Pepsi vote. Do we have anybody that's going to say differently? We'll find out over the course of the next handful of laps. 31 to go as we cross the line. Lap number 50 goes on the board. Back through 1 and 2, firing it off down the backstretch, coming right into your living room screen once again. Side by side, Pepsi and Coke going at it into turn 3. Knotted up from the field side by side for your top 3 positions on track. Make our way off of 4. Big wiggle by the Monster Energy number 38 machine. Big trouble now. That's going to slow down that inside lane just enough to give the nod to 34 of Sean Bundy. He's going to lead the lap across the line. Lap number 51 goes on the board. Downhill side of things, single file at the bottom of the racetrack. Only 3 drivers up at the high side. We're nowhere near needing a green flag pit stop. The drivers were just a pit road about 10 laps ago, so they've got plenty of fuel at this point in time. Looks like a handful of guys just wanting to log these laps, get a little closer to the end of tonight's race before really pushing the envelope, really making those big moves. Started tonight's Quick Trip 200 with 16 drivers in the field. We've still got 15 out there on the track, but only 13 remain on the lead lap. Wounded Warrior, the Yingling. There you go. I promise I can. Man, I'm telling you, my tongue is just fighting me here tonight. The Yingling Machine of Scott Wise, off pace, heavy contact. Wise limping around the track right now, 26 seconds back and dropping like a rock. And you know, we're gonna be the ones that go against the rain. Thomas, unfortunately, I gotta go against you. There for the longest time when Jimmy Johnson was racing, that is my I'm going to catch some flack probably. That's my all-time favorite driver. Started in NASCAR right when I started watching NASCAR. Grabbed a hold of the rookie, and, well, it worked out for me in the end. 7 championships later, Jimmy Johnson, one of the greatest to ever do it. And he was part of that Pepsi family, if you remember. You had the Coke family drivers, and you had the drivers and team sponsored by Pepsi. And well, since my guy was sponsored by Pepsi, well, can't catch me drinking no sort of Coke. You can't catch me inside of a Home Depot as well. So I'm going to have to go and say that Pepsi at one point in time would have been the answer, but ever since Johnson left, well, I've jumped ship, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just sad. Maybe I'm fighting depression that Jimmy isn't behind the wheel anymore. I don't know. We'll see. And see, there you go. Your driver. It was Pepsi as well. Jeff Gordon of Team Hendricks, teammates of Jimmy Johnson. An amazing Hall of Fame driver as well, Gordon in his own right. So there you go. You understand the thought process. Had to go with the sponsors of my guy, but no longer my guy. So Pepsi's no longer my product. Just, kind of saying. It's also kind of hard to drink Red Bulls and Pepsi mixed together, I think. I don't think it really, doesn't really go well. While the field has pretty much went single file here at the front, things breaking down at the top side of the racetrack. Interesting to see these two guys able to keep some fair amount of pace and momentum built up with such a disadvantage. Inside lane, very much more organized, a lot more numbers down there, but the big bumps at the bottom of the racetrack seem to be plaguing that inside lane, allowing those two cars on the high side just enough side draft to keep themselves relevant at the moment. And with less than 24 laps remaining when we cross the line this time around, this is the witching hour. This is where your race dreams can either be made or thrown away in the blink of an eye. It is restrictor plate super speedway racing, so when it happens quick. We haven't seen any Tony Hawk kick flips down the front stretch or back stretch, so is the big one still lurking in the background here tonight from Daytona. Beautiful sunny weather. We got some great racing action Who's going to get to victory lane? We'll find out in just about another, well, let's see. What's the math there? About another 70 miles or so? 70 miles, is that right? 60 miles. 60 miles, yeah, 60 miles. No, you know what? We're going to leave that to somebody else. Let's go back and take a look at one of our guys that we had our eye on for quite some time. We built him up, hoping he was going to prove us right. And here he is, still inside of the top 10, but he's given up quite a bit of positions behind the wheel of that G-Lightning G-Ball. Earnhardt Tribute Machine, the 3 of Joe Wells. Now sitting back in the 9th position. Wells needs to be careful how much he can give up here in these opening rounds. This is where you can make or break your overall season championship. If he goes out here and he just absolutely if he has 2 disappointing performances to open up this final round, he can find himself in a heavy battle for that overall championship points lead. Wells has got to find a way to get back to a top 5. We're going to jump around the track a little bit. Let's change some camera angles. Take a look at the DeLorean out there, going all out with this livery behind the wheel of that number 59 machine. The Back to the Future DeLorean sitting in the 11th position. The Drift King, Jacob Drift. Heavy driver side damage, keeping that 14 from being able to head to the front, but he's going to stay in line here as long as he's got a draft. He's got a little bit of a toe. He's got a fighting chance, but the Budweiser number 8 camo machine has got heavy damage. You see both of the left and right front tires, and that is never good. Looking like a Willen modified out there at Daytona. That's not something you want. It might be something you can get away with maybe at a short track, maybe North Wilkesboro, maybe Hickory Motor Speedway. You might be able to get away with it at Bristol, possibly Martinsville, but here Daytona, where you rely so heavily on the draft to be that great equalizer, you need to have 4 straight fenders to drive yourself back into position to be in contention at the end of the race. But now, with only 19 laps remaining when we cross the line this time by, we're going to transition back to the front. Single file action here coming to the end of tonight's race. Drivers will have to head to pit road before the end of tonight's race. Looking at about, I believe it's going to be we're looking at about a 20-lap run here already. 18 laps to be a matter of fact. So these guys going to be eyeballing pit road here the next, I would say, 5 to 6 laps. We should see those green flag pit stops, and it is going to be the all-important money stop. The crew has got to be on their A game. The driver has got to be on top of it coming to pit road. So who's going to call the audible? Omaha their way into a little bit of a strategy. Will it be a race-winning strategy here tonight? You can see Scott Wise fighting hard to keep himself on the lead lap, leading that outside lane, pulling Picklesheimer along with him. Here comes the 93, big run for Dale Johnson. He's going to pick up a handful of positions as he fires things off and heads towards the front. Bottom lane breaking apart now, no real clear advantage for the top side or the low side. High side being led by the potential lap machine of Scott Wise. Al Likens keeping it at the bottom of the racetrack, tiptoeing in his Jordans around turn number 4, back through the tri-oval. 17 to go this time by. This is about to get interesting. Want to say it's about to get crazy, but it could be some controlled chaos that we run ourselves into here. 16 laps remaining. Drivers needing to make a green flag pit stop. We've got well, he's not a lap car. Well, technically now he is, as Lyons inches about half a car length out front of Scott Wise, but we've got Wise trying to hang on to the lead lap right here with your race leaders. So a lot going on late in the race here at Daytona International Super Speedway. You're watching the Quick Trip 200 for the Masters of the Draft, brought to you by the National Association of Stock Car Virtual Racing. Drivers still jockeying for positions, looking to create some runs. Picklesheimer looking to the high side. Will he go 3 wide to try to do away with Wise? A lot of movement from that outside lane. Third car back, the 93 of Darrell Johnson, having a little bit of handling issues on that Vent-to-Track 93 machine. And as we come down to the final few moments, let's jump on board. We haven't been to many of our onboard cameras here tonight. A lot of great racing action. Let's go right here on board with Sean Bundy sitting second car inside lane, accredited with the second position for now. Halfway down the backstretch, we head to 3. Speaking of 3, we're going to jump on board with the 3 machine of Joe Wells, trying to track down Dakota Bailey, looking for some more positions. And if Wells can generate a run from here, he will have a ton of speed ahead, full of steam coming to the line this time around with 13 laps to go. Little look from the overhead camera shot here with Dylan Picklesheimer as he offsets a little bit, giving the push of the Yingling Lager. Chevy Monte Carlo out front. Scott Wise still trying to search and find a way back onto the lead lap, but he's going to need a late race caution to help his opportunities to try to win tonight's race. Wise has got some good pace in the car, able to hang strong with the race leader, but being a lap down at this point in time does not bode well. Dakota Bailey, a little look from the high side of the 24 machine as he takes the position away. Bailey gonna move into 6th for the time being, eyeballing a little bit more. 12 to go, halfway down the backstretch. We head to turn 3. And I'm expecting something big, right? These guys have been just a little bit too calm over the course of this last green flag run, right? Nice and cordial, very organized, bottom of the racetrack, single file racing for a handful of laps. Things heating up a little bit coming to the end now. You're seeing that storm begin to brew. We've likened these races kind of like being at the coast and watching those offshore storms blowing in from the ocean. You see that wall of dark clouds out there. You see it intensifying. You see the lightning strikes. You can see the wall of rain out there. And just minute by minute, it's getting closer, it's getting darker, it's getting bigger, and as we get closer to the end of the race, the potential for the big one increases substantially. Will we see multiple drivers go up in the air here? These machines, these Gen 4 machines, very easy to get lifted off the ground with the bumpers not quite lining up. So will we see the late race trouble, or will we finish things off under green flag racing conditions? These guys right now proving me wrong on the fuel mileage thing. I'm still sticking to my gun though. I think they gotta come to pit road. I don't see how they're gonna go over 40 laps on the fuel. Nobody's done it so far here tonight. Little peek to the inside. Picklesheimer looking to go 3 wide. Do away with Wise. Not going to do so into 1. 9 laps to go. Here the quick trip 200. Something going on the high side. Scott Wise, big wiggle with a huge push off the front end of that body armor number 12, piloted by Dylan Picklesheimer. Picklesheimer may be growing a little bit impatient here. This time around, only 8 laps remaining. Dominant performance out front tonight for your U.S. Veterans Pole Award winner, Al Likens. He's led the most laps so far here tonight. Quickest lap of the race, though. Only one driver able to break into the 44-second column, but he's mired back in traffic, listed as the final driver on the lead lap in the 12th position, the 88 of Sam Taylor with a 44.89. That is almost a qualifying time. Well, looks like I'm going to be wrong after all, race fans. Looks like I will be proven wrong. 7 laps remaining and nobody eyeballing pit road. Nobody batting an eye as they head by. So these guys may have enough fuel to get to the end, and if they do, what's going to go on? We've got a lab machine just out in front. That's Sam Taylor. He's going to keep it at the bottom of the racetrack. It will stay green flag racing here from Daytona, halfway down the backstretch. Second pack being led by Dakota Bailey. Will we see a massive surge from that 7th position? Bailey going to move up into 6th, right around that Bud. Wiser King of Beers, number 79, Machine Joe Wells ducked into line on the bottom of the racetrack, and here it is. Business about to pick up. We told you what was going to go on. We told you things were going to intensify lap after lap, and here we are once again, 3-4 rows deep of side-by-side racing action. There you can see Joe Wells jumping from the bottom to the top, looking to generate a run late. And if you got the help, right, if you got the help, do you go 3 wide? We've seen Picklesheimer able to maintain some pretty good pace up there on that 3rd extreme high lane. It doesn't look looks like anybody willing to risk it for the biscuit, as the boss man at the flag stand going to give everybody the high five. This time by just 5 laps to go here tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway. Halfway down the backstretch, coming down to the final few laps. Want to give a huge shout out to each and every one of the sponsors joining us this season. Big shout out, as always, to the U.S. Veterans Affairs coming on board, sponsoring the U.S. Veterans Pole Award, Little Rescue Towing, saving lab cars one caution at a time. Wise Graphics, another big sponsor here with the Masters of the Draft. Of course, we would be remiss if we didn't mention the greatest. Well, I won't say the greatest sponsor, but a sponsor that has been with us since day one, Butt Kicker, putting every bump, every wisp of the wind right there behind you and in your rig. Their haptic transducers produce all the feeling you need. Feel what you've been missing. Butt Kicker, the future is feeling. Off of 4 across the stripe this time around. We'll have 3 laps to go, and there's that 3 wide move. Picklesheimer to the middle. We've got contact there between 2 lead lap machines. The 38 gonna make some contact with the 93. That's gonna slow the roll of Picklesheimer behind the wheel of that body armor number 12. Less than 8 miles of racing remaining in front of these drivers, and Ken Likens dominating his way into victory lane. Picklesheimer looking for his 3rd win, looking for his first as Likens on the bottom. Popsicle sticks on display. 5 miles remain in the quick trip 200. And we've got drivers to pit road. Likens out of fuel on the apron. Race leader Al Likens out of fuel on the apron. Oh my. That's going to hand the race lead over to Dylan Picklesheimer. Will he be able to get around the track one more time? Picklesheimer going to take over the inside lane. White flag flies. Final lap here tonight at the Quick Trip 200. Surging out front, able to save enough fuel. Daryl Johnson to the point. Johnson looking to back up his 8 top 10s, 3 top 5s with his first race winning performance here tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway. Picklesheimer hasn't given up. Surging back at the bottom of the racetrack, we head to 3. 73 going to force his way in. We've got contact and trouble. Trouble, big trouble. Joe Wells going to be taken out in this one as we stay green off of 4 coming to the line. Here it goes. Daryl Johnson in control. Picklesheimer turned at the line. Dakota Bailey will walk away with the position. Picklesheimer is going to finish backwards in the 3rd spot. My goodness. We told you something was going to happen. We told you something was going down. And there it is. There you have it. A lot of carnage and chaos behind the man at the front, but getting the job done behind the wheel of that vet to track. Number 93 machine walking away with his first race win. The West Virginia native gonna get the job done. Daryl Johnson will celebrate on the front stretch. An amazing finish, man, right? What a way to end this thing. Drivers running out of fuel. Drivers with enough fuel. Does Johnson have enough to give the fans in the stands a little bit of a smoke show? Post-race celebration in order. Johnson got to burn it down, and as he enjoys a little bit of a sigh of relief, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, get things set up and ready to go for your post-race interview, so don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be back live from Daytona. and back trackside at the conclusion of tonight's Quick Trip 200 right here from Daytona International Super Speedway. What a finish, what a run to the end. And let's talk to one of the drivers that had a little bit of, well, he had a little bit of a crazy little ride at the end. Let's see if we can't dial up the man behind the wheel of that number 12 body armor machine. Dylan, it's Dave. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear. How you doing? How you feeling? First off, want to say hope you had an amazing holiday season. Hope Christmas was good for you. Hope you had a great New Year. So with that being said, how good does it feel to start off this 4-week mini block season with a podium?
Feels good, man.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
I'm glad old Daryl won. It was either me or him there at the line. That's what I kept telling him the last couple laps. Is I wanted him to get on the top. I wanted me to get on the bottom, and whoever won it, won it. And I'm glad he got it, and I got third.
Well, we had a handful of cautions here tonight. I believe it was about 3 before some of the last lap carnage and chaos that, we kind of come accustomed to when it comes to super speedway racing. How were you able to navigate your way through some of the troubles that mired the field here tonight?
I just got lucky with the fast repair, and then that second wreck, I kind of got into it. It was just only 47 seconds of damage, so I just kind of got lucky tonight, and it was kind of hard to pass. I was just trying to ride with my guys, hope it worked out, and it did, so I'm happy.
Well, sometimes it pays to have luck on your side, especially super speedway racing. Fortunately enough, you may have had a little lucky rabbit's foot in your pocket. Not sure what your superstition stuff is, but, it never hurts to have a little bit of good juju go your way. So for the first time in the new year, Dylan, heck of a job, heck of a run. Congratulations on the podium finish here tonight. Before we let you go, you know the drill, so we're going to step back, and the mic is yours.
Yes, sir. I want to thank you, Dave. I want to thank my fiance, my mom, all the good stuff, all my teammates. I got like 10 of them now. I don't even remember all of them, but I'm happy for Daryl to get that win tonight. It's been a long time coming, and I'm glad he finally got one. So let's move on to next week and hope it goes good, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Well, we'll look forward to catching up with you over the course of these next final 3 weeks of racing action that we made. Until then, my friend, as always, stay safe and keep it fast.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right, there you have it. Final few words for the man that walks away third here tonight, breaking out the new year with a podium finish. Dylan Picklesheimer will finish in third. That's going to bring us to the man that, well, Dakota Bailey just... I got to say I love the paint scheme because I'm a Star Wars fanatic. Pepsi on board with him as well. Let's see if we can't dial up the man that walked away second here tonight. Dakota, it's Dave. You got us?
Got a copy. How's it going?
I'm pretty good, man. How you been? It's been a minute, man. Good to see you back here in these interviews, man.
It has been a minute, man. We've fallen victim to some very unfortunate circumstances when it comes to these races, man. Daytona seems to be my kryptonite. This is the best finish I've had in the league at Daytona.
Well, man, we hope it gets a little better for you over the course of these next handful of weeks. We've got 3 weeks of super speedway action remaining in front of us. What are your chances? How do you measure yourself up against the competition behind the wheel of this Gen 4?
Man, these guys can drive. I tell you that it's hard to pass when people know what they're doing and everything else. So you gotta play your cards right and just be smart and survive to the end. Really, it's just you survive to the end and put yourself in a good position, and good outcomes can happen.
Absolutely. Well, you were able to put yourself in a good position. You were able to survive to the end. You were able to survive a whole nother year. So congratulations on making it through the New Year's. I know, that night could be a little troublesome for some, but, that's a whole nother ball game. We're not going to get into that topic. But man, a heck of a run for you so far. We look forward to trying to catch up with you over the course of the next 3 weeks. So before we let you go here tonight, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Absolutely. First and foremost, I got to give a shout out to my man Brandon Browning over at Filthy Five Motorsports. Appreciate the opportunity to be able to race with the name on the car and And for that team, man, it's just some good people over there, some good friends, and everything else. Love to be on the track with them. Huge shout out to my mom. She actually watched tonight.
Hi,
Most of the
Mom.
time she's working or asleep due to the hours that she works and everything else, but she's able to make it and watch the race tonight. So big shout out to her. Big shout out to everybody else on the Filthy Five team and everything else. Shout out to you in the broadcast booth. Shout out to Scott and Lauren for putting the league on, and everybody that just helped me get to where I'm at today, man. I wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm doing right now without them.
Well, man, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you at the end of these things. I know we appreciate the kind words. I know the admins and officials and your fellow competitors appreciate it as well. So, Dakota, on that note, we're going to let you go here. But as always, my man, until next week, stay safe and keep that 24 fast.
Absolutely. Look forward to talking to you again next week.
All right, there you have it. Final few words from Dakota Bailey. Going to back his way across the line and walk away with a second place finish here tonight in the Gen 4 season opener. That's going to move us right into this iconic victory lane here at Daytona International Super Speedway, walking away with his first win of the season, open up the Gen 4 round with the race win. Daryl, man, how good's it feel to climb out with that checkered flag in hand?
I'll just say I'm so excited. That's actually my first league win ever in iRacing, so it means even more.
And you did it right here with us too, so that gives us some bragging rights too, right? I'm allowed to get some bragging rights, right?
Absolutely. You guys are, I mean, you do a fantastic job. I watch the race back every week, and I'm excited to watch it. So even when I'm not racing, I watch you. So
well, man, we appreciate those ones. I want to dive right into some things, though. You were able to keep that Ventatrack 93 machine up near the front of the field the majority of tonight's race. How were you able to one, get the track position? I mean, you had what I'll call a subpar qualifying effort. You qualified back in sixth position. How were you able to navigate your way to the front and keep it there pretty much all race long?
well, Al Likens is fast, and my goal is to push him the whole race. So he qualified first. I just methodically worked my way. People were going between the low line and the high line, and the high line was the fastest way around. So I just thought, what, I'm just going to stay up here and let people do their maneuvering in and out, and just kept slowly one position at a time, pick them one off, and got up behind Al, and then it was just ride behind Al because he was so fast. And then when the pit stops happened, I cycled back a little bit. And then the second pit stop, I took just right side tires, which brought me out a little bit ahead of some of those guys. But track position was so key tonight. I mean, it was so hard to pass.
Well, they say slow and steady wins the race, so that may have been the moniker that proved valid here tonight. You were able to do so, get to the front when it mattered, keep your nose clean, and you crossed the line first. Daryl, congratulations on getting that first league win, the first race win of the season for you. Congratulations. I know there's a lot of celebrating in order. So before we let you go and enjoy all your post-race celebrating here tonight from Daytona, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, maybe thank anybody back at the race shop?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I'd like to thank you for doing this. You and Turn 3 Racing Network. You guys do a fantastic job. It's awesome every week to watch you guys back. All of my team from TNT Motorsports, I've kind of drug all of these guys with me throughout for the last 4 years. Dylan was a big help tonight there at the end. We were saving fuel together, just kind of working on a strategy. We knew that a couple guys were going to run out or be close, so we just kind of hung out together. Al always, but all of TNT and G Lightning Motorsports, we've kind of got an alliance going with those guys. We're always working together. They're always great guys. But more importantly, thank God. And most importantly, thank my family for letting me do this a couple times a week. It's always fun to get away from reality and come down and enjoy a bit of virtual reality and hang out with some buddies.
Well, man, we appreciate the kind words. I know everybody else appreciates the kind words, from the sponsors to the friends to the family to the race control, the admins, and your fellow competitors. Daryl, You're a class act, if I must say so myself. We look forward to seeing you over the course of these next few weeks. Let's see if we can't back this race win up with another before the end of the season. But until then, stay safe. And as always, keep it fast.
Thanks, brother.
All right, there you have it. He said he's so excited, but able to contain the emotions for the moment. Daryl Johnson walks away with his first win of the season, first league win, first win right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. It doesn't get much better than that. A first across the board with a lot of things for us here tonight. And in victory lane, checkered flag in hand, he is now in the winner column. The West Virginia native gets it done. Daryl Johnson will collect the checkered flag here tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway. What a night, what a race. We don't have much left to do. We've got 3 more weeks of racing action coming at you right here each and every Thursday night on the Turn 3 Racing Network. An amazing job by all of the drivers out there tonight, and you can already hear those familiar sounds in the background. The producers hitting those buttons. You know it's time to run down tonight's unofficial race results in the Quick Trip 200. Checkered flag in hand, crossing the line first. Your race winner behind the 93 machine, Daryl Johnson. Dakota Bailey going to pick up second with Dylan Picklesheimer sliding in third. Sean Bundy back and forth with Darren Mack. James Hudson in sixth. Jacob Drift going to park the 14 machine home in the 7th position. Gregory Thurlow back in 8th. Joe Wells late race trouble will finish in 9th. U.S. Veterans Pole Award winner, most laps led here tonight, but finishes in 10th. Al Likens will bring the 94 home. In the 10th place, Tay McDonald back in 11th. 12th place belongs to the Yingling, number 31 machine of Scott Wise. Zach Alanin back in 13th. 14th tonight from Daytona is Andrew Moore. Sam Taylor in 15th. Landon Lacey, 16th. And finishing out the field. What a race, what a night, what a run to begin the new year here with the National Association of Stock Car Virtual Racing's Masters of the Draft. So as we begin to roll up the cords and cut off the lights, if you haven't already, remember, join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers the love. Drop that thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell. Over there at the right-hand side, get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Dave the Cave, or anybody else back at the Turn 3 headquarters. We appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, there would be no us. Stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.